It's Desm101, back with another video. This time we're taking a look at a model kit, the Plum Gradius V Vic Viper. Now you might remember I took a look at the Gradius IV Vic Viper that Plum released, and this is their version for Gradius V. I'd been trying to get this for a while. I had it on pre-order with Big Bad Toy Store, and it just kept getting pushed back for months and months. It was going to be getting closer to like a year now since I pre-ordered it, and I started seeing it pop up on a bunch of places online like Amazon and eBay. So finally I couldn't resist and I went ahead and got one of those ones instead. Although I still have my pre-order open through Big Bad Toy Store, so we'll see if that one ends up coming through. So let's take a look at the box. Really nice illustration on the cover here, as you can see, on the front. Here are some shots of the Vic Viper after it's built. That same illustration on the side. And this gives a little bit of details about the game. Released in 2004 for PlayStation 2. But it came with this sticker on it to keep it closed. And the other side has that same illustration, which is pretty cool. It looks like it's a close-up of the big core exploding in the background. So let's open it up. Okay. First we have the instruction, and it's printed on nice glossy paper. Very similar to the release that they had for Gradius IV. So it's basically the same. You open it, you're given a guide for the colors on the different elements of the Vic Viper. Some pictures of the craft after it's built, and some details about the background on the game and the ship itself. So these are actually illustrations that came with a History of Vic Viper book that was part of the limited edition of Gradius V when it released in Japan. I don't think it got a release here in the US from what I've understood. And here's our instructions, which we'll be using to build it here momentarily. Then we'll do a quick look at what's included. That looks like the stand, the base. These look like the missile parts. The blue trim for the wings and the intake. There's the canopy for the cockpit. The red trim is transparent. Okay, and this looks like part of the front of the ship, the dark gray. More pieces of the fuselage. This looks like the engine assembly. Thrusters. And there's the rest of the body for the fuselage. And this is some kind of form. It's got a bunch of Gradius V A through H. Looks like they have a cost associated with them. And I have seen that there is a red one that's also available for the player 2 version of the ship. Alright, so stick around if you want to see the build and hear my thoughts afterwards. Alright guys, so here it is, all finished and completed. I added a few extra details, but we have the missiles attached. And a little bit of spot details you can see there. I also did forget to glue the pilot in. He's stuck in this really weird position. I can try and shake him around, but I glued the canopy on stupidly. After that, canopy was not sticking. So a few things about it. I think that it was a fairly challenging build, mostly because there are some pieces that are really small and minuscule, and many pieces that did require glue, even though they weren't recommended. So you'll definitely need some tools. The plastic was a little bit soft, so even though I'm using these to break the pieces off of there, it often would kind of mush into the white plastic a lot. That seemed to be the softest, and they wouldn't always clip off the material, so you had to come back and do it a few times. So that was a little bit odd, mostly with the white color. And you can see some of the spots here, there are some see-through transparent reds there at the front. Really difficult to work with. These pieces are extremely small trim. You're actually supposed to have some here at the wingtips and also at the top of the fin, or the back fin there. And I was not able to get those on. The pieces are just really small. When you try to cut them off of the mold, it will shoot off many times. You have to be really careful with trying to get the piece off. That one didn't really work out for me. But otherwise, the model's pretty nice. A lot of good detail. I kind of wish this black here was a little bit lighter color. I might try to repaint this. I think it's a little too dark, honestly. I know that that's like the official model, but it just seems like that should be a bit of a lighter gray maybe, instead of just kind of like this black. I guess, especially when you're trying to film it, it's really hard to see that against another dark color. It just kind of disappears in the details. And that's also because my camera is not very nice, so I apologize for that. But it's a pretty nice kit. I'm happy with it, and it'll go with my other Gradius models. So I brought the Gradius V Vic Viper to compare it with. So you can see both of them here. It's slightly bigger, mostly because of the changes to the ship design, I think. And it was a little more difficult, I would say, than the Gradius 4 model. Still, it's really cool. Looks great. Lots of nice detail in the bottom and stuff. Really like how the profile of the ship looks. With the missiles and everything, it's a neat detail. So you can pick them up for about $70 right now at multiple different stores. I wouldn't really recommend paying more than $100 for it unless it's like out of production, but right now they should be starting to be more available. I also have another order open, as I mentioned, so hopefully they might be able to fulfill that. If that one does come through, I'll probably do a giveaway of the extra Vic Viper model. I think that's a cool way to show some thanks to the followers of this channel. And yeah, it was a quick bonus. I wanted to show this, which is not a Vic Viper ship. It looks like a generic Vic Viper though. And this is taken from the new Buzz Lightyear movie. It's one of the figures. You can find these for about 10 bucks in Walmarts and Targets and stuff. Definitely looks a lot like a Vic Viper. Maybe like a generic version of it. But still, it's pretty cool. It has the orange cockpit, has blue trim in the wrong spots, except for on the back fin there. You can also open it and get the pilot out. But not bad. It even has a landing gear that you can deploy. But it's an interesting little toy, and it definitely, I feel like, borrows heavily from the design of the Vic Viper, especially the fact with the blue trim and the orange cockpit canopy. Alright, well that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on the Plum Vic Viper. Do you have one? Have you built one of these? Let me know. Alright, and I'll see you next time. Take care.